Now, boys and girls, any of you out there under the delusion that the Walt Disney Company's Lucasfilm's version of Indiana Jones and the Absolute Dial of Dysentery made any kind of profit in any way, shape, or form? Well, boys and girls, I have a bridge to sell you somewhere out there in San Francisco. But that being said, for all of the rational and reasonable folks out there that understand what's going on inside of the industry and understanding how much of an abysmal bastardization of all things Indiana Jones, the Dial of Dysentery absolutely was, then this will come as no shock to you. But, ladies and gentlemen, now we've got an article out here because the financial statements have officially come in and are now confirming that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was another multi-million-dollar Disney flop. Now, color a shock there. I know this will not come as shock to any of you out there that have actually been paying attention, because this was a movie that reportedly had a budget of well over $400 million and didn't even crack 600 globally, okay? We knew this movie had to make at least $1 billion to even come close to breaking a profit. Why did we know that? Because we knew that there was a bunch of reshoots. We knew that even the composer of the traditional score for all of this, he's the one that came out and said that they had several different versions for the ending because they were doing different things for the ending. We knew that there was a bunch of reshoots on this movie. We knew a bunch of nonsense was going on because of all the backlash from the test screenings and from the leaked information about what they were going to do with the story and Phoebe Waller-Bridge and everything else. And guess what? We turned out to be almost all completely and totally right about the Phoebe Waller-Bridge and completely and totally destroying the wonderful and beloved character of Indiana Jones, trying to make him a shell of himself. And guess what? The fan backlash happened, and this movie failed miserably and also had a horrendous, absolutely horrendous Rotten Tomatoes score from the audience. And color a shock there, it's all solely the person it is solely responsible for all of this is Kathleen Kennedy, by once again forcing Phoebe Waller-Bridge as nothing more than a personal self-insert of herself into the Indiana Jones movie franchise, trying to make her the hero and failing miserably. And now we've got more documentation to prove what we already knew, boys and girls. And honestly, there's a little bit of a sweet satisfaction to that, getting the confirmation, although I know most of you will believe this is all old hat news, that yeah, duh, we already knew this, but it's fun. And the Main Street is reporting on this as well, which I think is entertaining. So let's check out this article from Bounding Into Comics. Smash that like button and subscribe if you have not already, or follow. Financial statements confirm Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny was another multi-million-dollar Disney flop. And that was just the budget we were talking about. We didn't even talk about the marketing amount of money they spent on this, because there was literally trailers for this movie everywhere. Everywhere. They even hit it on subway stations in New York City, on the subway down there. Okay? So we know they spent a crap ton of money trying to market this hot garbage. To the surprise of absolutely no one who has seen the abysmal sequel, a new financial filing by Disney has revealed that rather than being anywhere near in the neighborhood of what anyone would call a success, last year's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery was but the latest entry in their long list of big budget box office disasters. As initially detailed by Forbes, the confirmation of the Dial of Destiny's failure to land with the audience was revealed courtesy of filings made with the UK government by the local Disney subsidiary set up to helm the film's production. I love it when they film in the UK, because that's the best part. We get access to all of these tax records, because in order to get all of those big, fat, cushy, sweet tax breaks you get over for filming in the United Kingdom, well, all of those records and all of those tax breaks become publicly available once it's all filed and said and done. So shout out to the UK for at least doing something right and giving us access to these financial documents so we can properly roast these fools when they try to lie and gaslight us about their stuff making a profit and being such a success. No. We get to call you out on your BS because of things just like this. And help it qualify for the island nation's movie tax credits. And bear with us, readers, because to get to the results, it's going to take a brief detour into the world of accounting. Per box office tracking outlet Box Office Mojo, is cited as the aforementioned outlet, their analysis in the fifth film Indiana Jones franchise managed to glean only $383 million worldwide. Didn't even make its budget back. Talk about an abysmal failure. And we can go into the factoring the standard 50-50 split between theaters and studios. You guys all know this information, right? You guys have been around long enough. You know that obviously the box office doesn't go completely and totally to the studios. You have a big portion of it. You have, like in the United States, you have to basically a 50-50 cut. When you go overseas, it's even worse. 80% is the reported take in China from the actual government, from the studios and all that kind of stuff. So the studios only get like 20% of the revenue. It's not good at all globally. It's way worse globally than it is domestically. So when movies fail domestically, domestically, it's a way bigger financial burden than when it is when they fail worldwide, because they don't make near as much worldwide. So that's basically what all of this is going to go into, right? That's all of this stuff's going to go in. That's where the old 2.5 times your production budget is what you have to make in order to make a profit. Generally, that's all the kind of standard of that kind of stuff. So it's all of that kind of stuff. So you talk about Disney spent an additional $28,000 on post-production work, so you add all of that in. $2.7 million tax credit through the Dial of Destiny was a $362.2 million is what this movie ended up costing. Now you factor in the $192 million box office share. The number ultimately revealed the universally planned sequel lost the studios $134.2 million. And that's not even factoring in their marketing budget, boys and girls, which normally is generally equal to the production budget of a movie. Okay? Now, sometimes it can be less, sometimes it can be more. But this is a movie that we know from the tax filings was at minimum $362 million just in production, not to mention the hundreds of millions of dollars they spent on marketing. That's why we said last year, that's why we're now getting the proof of confirming what we already knew, that this movie lost hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office for the Walt Disney Company, and now we all get this proven true. As noted above, the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is but the latest of Disney's recent films to be confirmed as a box office flop. Obviously, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Elemental, Haunted Mansion, The Marvels, and Wish have all been the exact same kind of thing. So should even this conservative estimate hold true, that would mean Disney lost closer to $460.4 million on their attempt to capitalize on the once beloved adventure franchise. $460 million. Almost $500 million lost on Kathleen Kennedy's vanity project of nothing more than a self-insert, and once again trying to replace a man with an unqualified woman, trying to treat the Indiana Jones name and story as nothing more than a mantle that can be passed on to some female horse face that nobody can stand, that nobody likes, and is absolutely irritating to every single person and can't act for squat. You have failed miserably, Kathleen Kennedy. And Bob Iger, you're responsible for allowing her to ever have any control over this. And now we have the confirmation. The Walt Disney Company, Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, and everyone involved at Lucasfilm lost the Walt Disney Company almost $500 million on the disastrous dumpster fire that was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery. This is what happens when you go woke, you go broke. And $500 million is a whole lot of going broke on deciding to double down on the woke. So good job, Kathleen Kennedy, and good job, Bob Iger, for allowing her to destroy another beloved franchise. And now we know it cost you almost $500 million. Burn, Disney, burn. You're the disastrous dumpster fire we've always known you to be. And now we just have even more evidence confirming what we already known, that you're failing, that it's over, and you're going to continue to destroy every franchise you have until it all burns down around you. And guess what? Being king of the ash heap ain't much of a kingdom at all. But enjoy it, Bob Iger. Enjoy it, Kathleen Kennedy.